your freedom.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
Folks, tyranny is being reborn right in front of us. The people of the world always ask, especially Americans, hey, what the hell? How did Germany fall? How did the people of the Soviet Union, Russia, fall under tyranny? Didn't they see it coming? Didn't they understand it? Couldn't they comprehend it? How could they be so stupid? Well, it's not that they're stupid, it's just that they're lulled, they're tricked, they're scared. It is happening again today, 100%. It's not a mystery, folks. It's really, truly happening again. And I've got great examples, right? Great examples. There's political infighting. And one side, in order to win and maintain power, has to cheat at elections and cause events to occur, fires, bombings, chaos. You have to have an enemy to blame and then call them traitor, say they're attempting a coup. You have to do those things to take over a country. You have to pit the citizens against one another and make them afraid of one another. It's happening right now, folks. You think that didn't happen in the Soviet Union? Well, of course it happened, right? They had the communists and the Bolsheviks going after people. And if you supported the Romanovs, the Tsar of Russia, guess what? How can you support the Tsar? He's living like a king. Well, he was a king. He's living like the king, and you've got nothing, right? The rich get rich, and it's not fair, right? Well, the Germans, they played a similar game in World War II, right? Except instead of blaming a king, they blamed the rest of Europe, right? They hated the communists in Russia at that point, and they blamed Europe for holding them back, for punishing them, giving them the bill for World War I. Well, today, what have we got? Well, if you don't support the Democrats, you want dirty water, dirty air, you're killing the environment. How dare you? Climate change, polar bears and babies are dying. Except the Democrats don't really care if babies die, right? As long as the mom, right, says it's fine for the baby to die, then it's a virtue, right? And guns are bad. And Trump is the worst of all. So Trump came out and is yelling, screaming, right? Time for a re-election. We have to hold a re-election. And he used the word immediately. That would have been cool 2 years ago. 2 years ago, right? Right after the election to say, no, this is wrong. But what grounds would he have to make that claim? What evidence was available? Investigations were ongoing and they were killed because of the January 6th bullshit, false flag, misdirection, media-supported lie and hype, and lying, outright lying. Lying should be a crime in Congress. You can have an opinion. You can disagree, but just lying? Okay. Anyways, Trump's calling for this now. It's got a political purpose and power behind it. It's going to rile up the Republican voters. They're going to come out and vote en masse. It's going to rile up the Democrat voters, who are pretty discouraged. There aren't as many as they say, and I think that's the point, is they know there aren't enough voters, and they know that the cheating, folks, is going to be lessened. Now, yeah, the Democrats learned their lessons on how to do it right, but they're also now being watched. People are being actually arrested. That's going to dissuade a lot of people from cheating, right? Lying, falsifying ballots, etc. So Trump knows this, and he wants, right, he wins on this. And little people like Ben Shapiro who say, well, you know, this and that and the other, and Trump bad. You know, there's so many agents and counter agents. I'm an agent of freedom and liberty. That's really what I support. No one is perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. But folks, tyranny is afoot, right? We have political infighting at the highest level. Now, an example of how this works is not just relegated to dusty items on the shelf of history, Russia and Nazi Germany. Let's look at a very modern time. Ukraine. By the way, they're getting their asses handed to them by the Russians. No surprise there, though the media and the military lie about it for political gain. Ukraine. What did they do? The same thing that's happening here, and it's the same thing that has happened throughout history. In Ukraine, They took over the government. They hold fake elections, and then say Zelensky's our man, right? And then what happened? Well, if there's opposition to that, that opposition leader, kind of like Trump is now the opposition leader, he must be silenced, right? Well, now we must arrest all opposition leaders in government. And then we need to dissolve the parliament. We need to get rid of those factions, those institutions in government that aren't in line with the main thinking. It's not the mainstream thinking or the people's thinking. It's the thinking of those who want to maintain power. Tyranny, tyrants, despots. Despots are desperate. This is what we got. This is where we're at. This is how bad it is. People say, oh, it's not that bad. Really? Where were you 2 years ago, 3 years ago? Cerveza bug. People were pissed and upset. They couldn't see it then. They couldn't see the SHTF locking people in their houses, arresting them, terrorizing grandma and grandpa, denying people health care, denying people food, denying people travel, denying people's rights, threatening to get rid of them, fire them if they don't take, oh my God, everything. That's tyranny. And people pretend like, oh, no, it's for our health. See, that's the excuse. It's for your health. It's for public health. It's for the common good. And they're still pushing that lie, even though there's nothing to support the lie, period. They're pushing it, folks, and they're continuing to push it. That's how they get tyranny. Ultimately, folks, you have two groups in a country fighting. And if one can be convinced, bullied into standing down, while the other side that has authority, has power, guess what? Right? They win, because then they use their secret police, their overt police, and they start going after people directly. There's no secrets here, folks. There really are no secrets. That's how it's done. What is the FBI doing? It is now the Stasi. It is now the Gestapo. It is now the SS, the secret police, the KGB. Every illegitimate, powerful, evil institution that has ever existed, that's what they're mimicking. It's the same playbook. Tyranny is being reborn in front of us. Now, I've got some great articles I want to talk about later today because I want to read the quotes. Came up in the middle of the night and I found them. Right? People are beginning to really resist. There comes a point when people are not going to tolerate it and they'll fight back. The question is, are there enough of them? Are you prepared? Are there enough of these people? Are they hardcore enough? Are they willing to go all the way? Or will they be made examples? Will there be just enough of them for the government to say, see, we told you we need to eliminate rights. It's an emergency. It's a time of war. It's yeah. We've got an economic problem. We can't have this. Yeah, it's funny, between the problems and crises that governments create, that tyrannies are born out of: famine, war, and pestilence. Then they blame the famine, war, and pestilence that they created for, guess what? The need to remove all the rights of the people and arrest people and start imprisoning people. Yeah, folks. Hegelian dialect. Problem, reaction, solution. The government has created the problems with food. The government's created the problems with war. The governments have created the problems with disease and pestilence. And then they want to say, well, because of these problems, we need to minimize your rights, suspend your rights, eliminate your rights. We need to suspend, arrest, silence, right? The censorship we've been dealing with. We need to get rid of all of that with our opposition, right? In the case of America, our nation, the Republicans, they're bad. They're causing problem. They're a threat, right? Meanwhile, you've got masked, hooded idiots, college dropouts, Antifa, running around with scary assault weapons, weapons of war, right? AR-15s, not weapons of war. They're sporting rifles. Still, they're running around at drag queen shows saying it's fine. This is good for children. Unbelievable what's going on. But here we are. Here we are. Are you awake? Are you prepared? Do you see it? I sure hope you do. I do. Without a doubt, I see it. I am prepared. I know what's going on. Right? This is not a call to arms. This is not a bunch of hyperbole. This is not bullshit. This is what's going on. We are going down that road. It is getting that much worse. It's going to continue to get worse until the tyrants are removed. One way or another, the tyrants have to be removed. There's never been another way to get rid of them, folks. They have to be removed, and usually it's done in a very ugly manner. I'm sorry to say. It's a very ugly thing. Tyrants don't just say, "Oh, you caught me. I give up. Oh, man, I didn't think you would notice. I'll go away." It's not how tyranny works. Right? So that's why I say SHTF, it's a process to get into it. It's a process to get through it. And it's a process to get out of it. Are you fully prepared? Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and a plan. Are you? I sure hope you are, folks. I really do. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be good for the children. It's not going to be good for the elderly. Sadly, folks, it may not even be good for the nation ultimately. What needs to be understood is something I called for way back in 2016. Yes, 2016, when I said, why are these political debates? Why are they about entitlements and government giveaways and spending? This should be about freedom. That should be at the top of every ticket, every debate. It should be about freedom. Well, it's going to be. But between now and then, when freedom's restored, right, in the manner that Thomas Jefferson describes, right, the tree of liberty is watered with what? Yeah, the blood of tyrants and patriots. But until that happens, we've got our work cut out for us. We truly do. You know, where do we go from here? Well, to hell in a handbasket, or right to the thepreparedmind.club and get stocked up for those things that you need. Shop anywhere, folks. Just shop. Get it done. Get supplied. But most of all, fill the mind. Chance favors the prepared mind is yours. Semper Fi. Godspeed. You guys have a great day. I'll see you this afternoon.